Got the address on it. It's a totally different ball game. I feel like this tournament kind of gives you a little stepping stone to that. It kind of gives you an idea what goes into that, different bodies of water, figuring it out on the fly, and I commend all of you for being here. Well, the 8th annual Bradley Roy High School Open is in the books, and man, what an event. We are already looking forward to next year, and I may even be scouting out bodies of water for our new Mystery Lake. But it was definitely a challenging year for us as a staff and me trying to get this tournament put on, you know, with the different challenges due to COVID and what may have gone on. But I think all in all, we had a great event. I'm very happy with the turnout. We had over 160 boats that went out on Saturday. Of course, we take it down to the top 5 on day 2. We probably would have broke a record. That is the only thing about it. We would have broke a record. Last year, we had 203 teams was our record for the Bradley Roy High School Open. We would have broke that record had we not had to deal with COVID this year. We had a lot of teams that couldn't make it due to being in the red, just different complications with COVID, but that happens. You know, this tournament presented by Covercraft is one that I look forward to every year. I hope the high school anglers look forward to it, and definitely was a success this year, but we're looking to improve upon that. Guys, thank you so much. I told y'all it was gonna be an early morning. Y'all handled it like a champ. I hope you enjoyed it. Whether you finished 5th, whether you finished 1st, I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody give Danielle a round of applause. She handled all of the score tracker input from my officials. Just like last year on day 1, we competed on Lake Cumberland, and these teams were simply trying to survive day 1. They were trying to make it to day 2 and making it in that top 5. Plus, on day 1, we give away 2 spots to the national championship. This is a 5-fish limit day, and we're trying to make it to that national championship. We had Hunter and Jordan from Trigg County that made it in spot number 2, and then we had Connor and Evan who finished day number 1 in the first spot, and those were the 2 teams that made it to the national championship. The part of the event that always excites me the most is day 2, where we take the teams to an undisclosed location, a mystery lake, if you will. We try to do an MLF Cup style format where every bass counts, 1 pound minimum on those bass. But the cool thing about it is these anglers, the top 5 teams, they have no idea where they're going. So we put them to bed on Saturday night at the State Dock Lodge there at the State Park. They had no idea where they were fishing the next morning. So you got to imagine what's going through their minds. I know I've been there as an angler. You have anxiety over where you're going to fish the next day. You knew Lake Cumberland, you had time to practice it, but you don't the next day. That's what's so cool about this format. So we wake up the next morning and I take them to Cedar Creek Lake in Kentucky. That's a place to me that it's one of the best fisheries in the state. It's a small lake, 900 to 1,000 acres or so, but it's a phenomenal lake. You know, our Fish and Wildlife Department here in Kentucky has managed that lake to a trophy fishery. It's got a 20-inch size limit there. You can only keep one bass if you were there fishing on normal terms. But the MLF style format fits that place perfectly because it's a catch, weigh, release, catch as many as you can. So that's what we did. We had score tracker, we had MLF scales in the boats for these top 5 anglers. And another thing that I thought was cool this year, hardly any of our teams, only one team, our St. X team that made it to that top 5, had only been there a few times. The rest of the anglers had never seen Cedar Creek. Who has been to Cedar Creek before? One? Just one? Wow. This is good. So this was a true MLF style cup format of all these teams had no idea where they were going, and they had to break it down on the fly and see who was going to come out on top. It's a great lake, and it was obviously a place I've spent a lot of time, and I feel like you've got a chance to catch some good ones and possibly some numbers. So especially with a 1 pound minimum. So when we arrived at Cedar Creek in the morning, you know, we sent these teams out for their ride around period, just like in the MLF style. Where basically they could do anything they wanted to besides fish. So they're out there getting to look around, and then we go lines in at 8:15. So that is the time where it's game time. They can try to catch as many fish as they possibly can. And it didn't take long. Our LaRue County team jumped right off to a quick start. I think they jumped up to 4 pounds right off the bat and set the pace for the day. That's why I wanted to go to Cedar Creek. It's a place, even in the fall when fishing can be tough, that we can get a lot of bites. And what I love about this format is no matter where we go, no matter where you're at, it always seems that it stays tight throughout the day. I'm following these anglers, trying to do Facebook Live, trying to bring this tournament to the fans, to the parents, to the coaches, to anybody watching, trying to bring it to them the best that I can. And we were just out there following along. And to me as a fan even, not just somebody hosting this tournament, it was cool to watch because the weights stayed tight. But they weren't catching a lot of really good fish. And I knew that Cedar Creek is full of 4 and 5 pounders. It's a place that my whole life, since I've been young, I fished Cedar Creek. And it's just full of those really great fish. And I knew it was gonna come down to who would catch one of those at the end. And as the day played out, for most of the day, we had Jake Likens and William Copley who were leading that tournament. What's interesting about those guys, they made the top 5 from last year and led part of the tournament then when they made the top 5 at Lake Cumberland when we held it in 2019. So they were top 5 veterans. So they made it a top 5 again in the Bradley Rural High School Open. So they were leading the tournament the majority of the day. Right going into the second period, they were leading it all the way through. Our LaRue County team fell down into 3rd. Not saying they were off my radar, but they were a little bit off my radar. The Trigg County team had tightened it up. They were within 7 ounces of our Louisa team. And I was really watching to see which one of those teams was going to win it, and that good bite that I talked about happened. I was just waiting for that to happen, and it did within about 15 minutes of the last period going lines out, and the LaRue County team is the one that got it. They got it on a whopper plopper of all baits on a topwater. How exciting is that? They got that fish to bite, put it in the boat, and it put them just a few ounces ahead of that Louisa team. I was heartbroken for the Louisa team, excited for the LaRue team, but that's how it all played out. And that is what's so cool about the score tracker. These anglers knowing exactly what they have while they're fishing. They know exactly if it's victory for them or if it's defeat in the instant. They can make their decisions based off of that, and that's really cool for me to watch as someone that's done it and been in their shoes, and then someone to host a tournament. I love to watch them experience that same thing. Congratulations, guys. One of the things that I always love about the Bradley Rural High School Open is that each year the scholarship money that we give away just tends to grow, and I've always wanted to produce a great opportunity for these students to win some scholarship money, whether it be the cash in hand scholarships that we give away thanks to sponsors like Covercraft, or it's the colleges, universities that are stepping up and using this tournament as a recruiting tool and offering up tuition discounts and just money toward tuition if the top finishing teams choose to go to those schools. You know, we've always had Campbellsville University. They stepped up and been a big partner of ours for a few years to give away to the top finishing teams a great amount of money if they choose to go to Campbellsville University. Well, along with that, this year we had Kentucky Christian University and Wabash Valley College out of Illinois. Those two joined right along with Campbellsville University, and there was over $200,000, probably getting closer to $300,000 available to our high school anglers this year that made the top 5 on day 2. So that to me is one of my favorite things about this tournament, because not only are they having fun fishing, are they getting better as anglers, but they're helping themselves down the road, all with a rod and reel in their hand. And I want to say a special thanks to everyone that helps me run this tournament. You know, whether it's the sponsors that donate prizes, money, scholarships to help get this tournament off the ground, to my wife, to family, staff, the Anglers Outpost and Marine staff, anyone that helps run this tournament. Look, this tournament's a big undertaking, whether it's from day one at Lake Cumberland, getting the boats in the water, getting the shirts handed out, mask, whatever it may be, taking pictures, getting this tournament off the ground. You just can't believe what it takes to run a tournament like this from day one to day two. Thank you everybody that helps me, and to our boat captains, our coaches, parents, thank you too, because look, you're having to either give up your time, your money, your boat. I know what that's like. You maybe wanted to be fishing, deer hunting on that Saturday, but you gave up your time for these student anglers. And to me, it's a cool deal, because what other sport can you actually be in the boat during the competition for 8-10 hours with your son, with your daughter, or with just that student athlete, and watch them in victory and defeat. You get to coach them along the way. To me, it's just a unique opportunity for the boat captains, for the parents, and for these coaches and the student anglers. So I'm already ready for 2021. Of course, we're going to be day one at Lake Cumberland again, and who knows where we're going to be on day two for our Mystery Lake. But I look forward to it. I'll see you in 2021.